If you watch my videos, you've heard me say that we have a brand new Savor store in our neighborhood, and I swear somebody in our neighborhood who donates there a lot works in the movie and television industry. I have found numerous crew jackets and shirts that clearly came from someone in the industry, and today I found a massive amount of Emmy screeners. If you're not familiar, what these are the DVDs that are sent out to members of the voting academy in order to try to get them to vote for a particular show or a person actor in the show. These only go to people who are in the union. Screeners in general sometimes go out to reporters, but if they are award screeners, then yeah, that's what it is. So they're limited. They used to be worth a lot more before DVDs and streaming was a lot more common, but there's still a few that matter. What I bought was probably a third of what they had. I left behind, I would say, 30 screeners that really only sell for maybe the $7 range when they sell. If Savers had had them at $1 a piece, I probably would have picked them up anyway and made a nice bundle. They had them at $3 each, and we're going to start, unusual for me, I'm going to start with the big one. This is Time, the Khalif Browder story. This was a Spike TV. You can see it was $3.99 at Savers, and this is the full series. Oh, no. Oh my gosh, I thought I lost a disc. That kind of freaked me out there for a second, because this recently sold on eBay for $129. Very rare Spike documentary. I spent an entire $120 at Savers today on everything I bought. This alone, at the going price, should cover everything. Amazing deal. The rest of these aren't quite as good, but there's still a lot of fun and some value in here. So we have Fuller House. This was that reunion TV show they did. So remember, these are not DVDs that you would go buy in a store. These are screeners only that are sent out. You'll see for your consideration. They're often listed on eBay as FYC for your consideration, screeners or DVDs. So also, if it's a TV show, rarely is it the full show. Movies will usually be full. That documentary was unusual that it was full. It's generally only 1 or 2 episodes, so that also changes the price. This one I didn't know at all. Icarus, the documentary that took down an empire. Looks kind of scary. A bold tale of lies, deception, and murder. Absorbing piece of filmmaking. So I'm not familiar with this film. That had a little value. These were the best ones, the ones that were in more of a book form. This is Love from Netflix. So again, it's really nice because it's got some photos and art, and then the discs in a little hardcover. And most of these, I'd say you're really only in the $10 to $14 range. A couple of them run up into the $30 range. They're going to be a little bit long tail. People aren't necessarily going to buy them right away. But considering what we sell are pop culture items, really, especially TV and movie, these are just perfect for my store. I love that I will have them available, even if they're not quick flips. The other thing, the reason I left some behind was many of these items have already then been released on professional DVD. So for example, they had the recent Bohemian Rhapsody Queen movie as a screener, but you can get that for quite a low price on a good Blu-ray. So there was no value in the screener. The screener value comes in a lot on, most of these are from streaming channels that often don't put their shows out on DVD because they want you to keep coming back and streaming. So if you don't have the channel, this is your only chance to watch them. So this was a really interesting one. This is a series of unfortunate events. I actually have 2 different ones. This was a nice, the book version. And again, super if you're just a fan and you want to collect on this. A lot of fun. That's a nice one. That should have a little more value. Wormwood. This had a little more value, and there weren't very many of them listed. This is another one I'm also not familiar with. One of the most original things you'll see in a year. Documentary fiction. Documentary nonfiction. Drama series. Documentary fiction. Not sure what it's about. I will look that up. And some of these I might watch before we do. I don't know. Have you seen that movie? Or, I guess, documentary, if you like it. Oh, here's the regular series of unfortunate events. This is just a small version. But again, really nice art. Beautiful art if you're a collector of this property. I'll tell you the truth, too. I had so many of these in the cart. So what I did, which is typical of what I do, I scanned through the shelves. Once I found a couple, kept scanning, and every one I found, I just pulled and put in my cart. Like I said, there were probably 40, 50 of them, easily. There were other people in the media section. They didn't seem to care about them, so it's not like I was grabbing them from anybody, but I took them all, and then I park off out of the way. I stay out of people's way, and started to go through them. I don't traditionally go through everything, because I got to a point where I was just getting like, okay, this is crazy. I can't do them all. So some of these I didn't look up. I went on the ones that did have money and kind of went with similar things. So this is Alexa and Katie. Again, a series I'm not familiar with. This one, it had a little bit more value. This was What If. Again, really cool. I found the stuff that was more sci-fi fantasy, again, tends to have a higher value. Is that the guy from Smallville? Well, can't tell. Outstanding limited series. Again, Netflix. This one was a higher level one. So this one, the shame is there's two of these. So this is the OA, I guess, is how that would be pronounced. Oh yeah, there it is, the OA. So again, this looks like a sci-fi-ish. I don't know, I can't really tell what this is from the look of it. Another one I don't know anything about. And this one was going up a little bit higher. This could potentially be a 25 or a 30, which would be nice. Santa Clarita Diet. Again, I mostly grabbed it because it was the book version. Doesn't have, it has some value. It's hard because there are some of these, this show is out, I guess, on DVD. So, but some of these were selling. Okay, do that one last. This was Jim Carrey, Jim and Andy, The Great Beyond. This had some really nice value. They had several variety shows. There was a Letterman and a Tracy Morgan, and those didn't really have much value, but this one seemed to be more popular. Again, it's probably never been released, and or it's just the subject matter is more popular. But again, for $3. If it had been $1, I'm not kidding, I would have bought every single one. But at $3, with my discount, they were about $2.50 each. So yeah, not bad. And the last one I didn't even bother to look up because it was totally sealed. This is The Shy, or yeah, I guess, which is how it's pronounced, which I believe is a crime drama. For your consideration, doesn't have this. This isn't Netflix though. Showtime. There we go. And that was unusual. Most everything we found was Netflix. Very few. There was this Showtime. There was a couple of FX and other channels, but almost everything we found was Netflix. So, what do you think? Did I do good? Hopefully. Have you ever found screeners? Do you buy screeners? I know, again, they're not as popular as they used to be in the past. These were so rare, they probably would have gone for $20, $50 a piece, but I'm still excited to have found them. It was a really cool find.